Okay. Hopefully we are live. Welcome to the Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Carlito Santiago, and today we are here to talk about what went down on Friday Night SmackDown in Berlin, Germany, I believe. They're going to be in Germany next week on Raw, or on Monday. But here we're in Berlin. So let's see what went down. But before we do that, if you guys could do me a favor, hitting that subscribe button, dropping a like, commenting down below, and turning on those post notifications so you never miss a stream. We have a lot of things to cover here, so we'll take it one step at a time. The Viper is back. Randy Orton is here. After a quick intro, Randy Orton made his way to the ring for his first real promo since returning last week and hitting an RKO on The Miz without saying a word. Before the Viper could even get out two sentences, Mr. Trick Williams interrupted him. He came out dressed for his match with Rey Fenix, but he wanted to trade some words with the Viper himself. See, Williams said it was 2026, not 2006, which seems to indicate he thinks Orton should step aside for newer guys. Orton replied that he sees a star in Williams, but he made the mistake of interrupting the Legend Killer. As expected, things eventually got tense and turned into a fight. Orton hit a few punches and a draping DDT on Williams. The Miz attacked Orton, though, from behind, but the Viper turned his finisher into an RKO. This was a pretty run-of-the-mill segment, as it set up a potential feud for Orton with the Miz, both the Miz and Williams, but it also made the new guy on SmackDown look kind of dumb before his first match as a member of the main roster. I don't know. Maybe it's a dumb... Maybe it's not... Maybe it doesn't make him look dumb. Maybe it's just that was a dumb decision to interrupt the Legend Killer. There's probably more of a thought there. This grade is C+, and you know what? Sure. WWE only used... Oh, God. I'm a bit tired, guys. Are foreign crowds that much louder than the U.S.? Yes. Foreign crowds are louder than the U.S. And it sucks. It fucking sucks. So, without further ado, we hop into our first match, as it was Rey Fenix versus Trick Williams. See, of course, Fenix made his way to the ring and fist bumped Orton as they passed each other. This was Williams' first official match as a member of the SmackDown roster. So there was a lot of eyes on him to see how he would perform. He locked up, and Trick Willie showed off his power by easily pushing Fenix to the ropes. They traded a few near falls, but Williams kept the upper hand. Fenix hit a few nice moves, but most of this match was dominated by Williams. He has always worked well with smaller guys, but he seemed to take things a bit slower in this match than we usually see him. If they had picked up a pace a little sooner, this would have been a great match, but it felt like they were taking it easy until the final couple of minutes. We know both of these guys are great at what they do, so it was a little surprising that they didn't do more. So Williams ended up countering a pin with a handful of tights to get the win, making this a dirty victory. Might be an indication that we will have to see another match soon, either between the two or down the road. So this was graded a B-. And yeah, for Williams' debut, it was alright. Julia defended the U.S. title against Alexa Bliss, which is weird because Bliss and Flair are supposed to be a team, I guess. But I guess Flair is sick. So, yeah. So the Women's U.S. Championship was on the line when Bliss challenged Julia for the title that she won from Green last week. And James at her client's side as usual. So I really am wondering why they took the title. Like, that was just weird, right? Does anybody agree with me? Like, it's weird that they took the title off of Julia to put it on Chelsea Green, let her hold it for, like, a few weeks, just to put it back on Julia. Like, I don't get that. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that decision. Anyway. They started the match with an exchange of strikes that ended with the champion hitting a snap suplex and a missile dropkick for a 2 count. Bliss didn't start to gain any momentum until a commercial break, but Julia didn't make it easy on her. She kept finding ways to combat the former world champion's offense. So James distracted the ref while Bliss was preparing to hit his sister Abigail, but the goddess took her out. Lash Legend ended up interfering out of nowhere by shoving Bliss off the top rope, which allowed Julia to hit a Northern Lights suplex for the win. There was some good energy in this match, but having another dirty finish right after we just had one in the first match wasn't ideal. So Jackson Legend destroyed Bliss after Julia and James had left. So yeah, we have another like interference type. I don't know, guys. Wow, we have another interference in this shit. It is baffling that WWE decided to do this back to back. I mean, Road Dogg, you're at the head of creative, dude. Why are we doing dirty finishes here? Anyway, Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre had a short confrontation backstage. So, but then we got to a course of a match here. I don't know if it's a six. I don't know if it was a 6-man tag team match or whatnot. Okay, so it looked like it was a 4-on-4. Yeah, it was a 4-on-4. Okay, so we had a 8-man tag team match. Solo Sikoa, Tala Tonga, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa were accompanied by JC Mateo for their match against Uncle Howdy, Joe Gacy, Dexter Lumis, and Eric Rowan, who had Nikki Cross by their side. The arena lit up with the Fireflies as the Wyatts made their way to the ring. It was great to see the crowd still so into the group despite WWE being inconsistent with when it comes to booking. So, yeah, WWE's constant booking with the Wyatt is just basically going, like, jumping from team to team. It's more of a team activity type thing for them. It's like you're just booking them against the MFTs because you have nothing. Because WWE has nothing for the MFTs and nothing for the Wyatts. Like, they have nothing. Even though, I think, aren't they the fucking tag team champions on the brand? Like, right? Aren't they the tag team? Yeah, I think the Wyatt Six are still the tag team champions on the fucking SmackDown sides. Like, what the hell? Do something with the tag team titles. God damn it. You got Raw over here. I've been telling Raw for like a month to do something with the tag team titles, and they are. The Usos are now the champions. You got fucking Wyatt Six over here with the tag team titles, and you're not doing anything with them no more. Like, it was good. You had a tag team division. Road Dogg. What the fuck? Anyway, Lumis and Loa started for their teams, and the Wyatts took control with a little double team offense with Gacy and Lumis. The MFTs took control during the break, and we returned to see Solo hitting Gacy with a signature running hip attack. This was a fast-paced match with a lot of physicality from both sides, but the showdown between Howdy and Sikoa was what all of this was leading to. Sikoa used the lantern to draw Howdy's attention away from the ring, allowing Tama Tonga to hit his finisher and get the win for his team. Nick Aldis also booked Jordynne Grace to take on Alba Fire backstage in a backstage segment. Rhodes had a quick segment with Matt Cardona backstage. So, yeah, just a couple of things there. And Rowan and Tala need to have a singles match soon because they are pretty big and they are pretty tall. So, yeah, Jordynne Grace is also signed with SmackDown, ladies and gentlemen. And, I forgot to mention on Raw, Javon Evans is a part of the Raw roster, too. So, speaking of that match, well, here's some Jordynne Grace action. It was a week of debuts, with Williams having his first match earlier in the show, and Grace having her first outing against Fire. See, Jordynne Grace started unloading as soon as she got her hands on Fire. She had a few short arm clotheslines and a modified sidewalk slam before Fire shot back with a kick and a DDT for a 2 count. Of course, Chelsea Green distracted the ref while Grace was trying to pin her opponent, so the Juggernaut threw Fire into her to knock her off the apron. She hit a torture rack bomb for a quick and easy win. This wasn't a very long match, and there wasn't much to it. But what little bit we saw looked good. Fire is a reliable performer, and Grace is great when it comes to being the strength. So they were able to have a few spots. Now, as the victor was about to leave the arena, Jade Cargill came out, sized her up, and talked a little trash to her about how she's not special. It looks like WWE is going to throw Grace right into the title scene, which is not surprising. I mean, they have no fucking other women to step up to Jade Cargill at this very moment. So, yeah, SmackDown, I would be signing a bunch of fucking women. You need, I mean, where's Tiffany Stratton's taking a hiatus? Charlotte Flair's in a tag team with Bliss and being sick. You got Bliss out here doing fucking U.S. mid-card action. Like, you really need somebody to step up to Jade Cargill. You need her title run to feel something important. So, Carmelo Hayes ran into Ilya Dragunov backstage, asked if he would accept his open challenge, but Dragunov said he had something else in mind and wished him luck. And we got another video package of Obafemi before this match took place. So yeah, it looks like Obafemi could be heading to SmackDown. I would like to see that. Great to see. Plus, though, Jordan Grace defeating Fire. I know what Ilya Dragunov has probably got in mind. He's probably going to look after that World Championship. Now that Drew's champion, he's probably going to want to go after that World Championship while Cody feuds with, yeah, you're going to find out who later. I think I was going to tell you soon. Well, maybe he wants to feud with Drew McIntyre over the belt, possibly. Or a feud over Cody. I just know that Ilya Dragunov is really destined for that World Championship because they're going to try to do what they did with the IC title, make a U.S. title be a stepping stone. But the only reason I know this is because, of course, we were in Berlin, so I know that happens in the end. Carmelo Hayes took on Shinsuke Nakamura for the U.S. Open Challenge, and Hayes held this Open Challenge just like how Sami Zayn did and how Ilya Dragunov did to honor Cena's legacy. It will all come down. We knew The Miz and Dragunov would not be answering the call, so his opponent was a genuine mystery until Nakamura's music hit. It's very nice to see Nakamura back on screen. Melo had a huge smile on his face when he squared up with a man who is no stranger to the U.S. title. They started with a clean lockup and takedown sequences. With both men operating as babyfaces right now, it meant we were going to get a good, clean match, which was a nice change of pace after a few dirty finishes and early in the show. And do mind that with both men operating as baby faces. Now, as you see, I always said that sometimes you get when it comes to babyface versus babyface, it works because you have people you can cheer for, and at least one of them can become a heel. When you look at the scenario, both Melo and Nakamura have played more heel roles before too. This is Melo's time to be a babyface, and I like it. We've been saying it for months. The U.S. title bouts have become a weekly highlight on SmackDown, thanks to the efforts of Sami Zayn, Dragunov, and now Hayes. And this match was no different. Nakamura is a talented veteran, and Hayes is a gifted young star who is just beginning to find his groove on the main roster. So it would have been shocking if they didn't put on a great match. Nakamura worked on the leg of Hayes for a long time to soften him up and take away his aerial ability. But the young champion kept himself in the fight. They had a lot of time to make this fun and made the most of every minute, which of course is always part of Melo's game. The challenger put in a good effort, but Melo was able to counter the Kinshasa, with the first 48 before hitting a diving leg drop for the win. Graded an A-. Johnny Gargano, apparently in this too, masked up as Axiom, pretended to be Axiom, and beat up Nathan Frazier to then, because he stole his mask. So, that's very interesting. That is very interesting. That was pretty funny too. We don't know what's going on with Ciampa right now. It's at his end of contract, so we don't know if he's re-signing. If not, so right now they got Johnny Gargano kind of playing up with his wife. So Gargano and his wife are fucking, being a little team here. And then, of course, as you can see, since we all know what happened, you guys see it right here. So I'm already going to tell you Drew McIntyre won this shit. But we're going to explain how everything went down with these, because there's a lot to talk about in this fall. So McIntyre is the new WWE champion. Most likely, Ilya Dragunov will be going after McIntyre for the WWE title, possibly, with Cody Rhodes facing a familiar face of his past. Or, well, sort of. See, throughout the show, WWE was hyping the 3 Stages of Hell match between Rhodes and McIntyre. that served as the main event. With zero commercials during the final hour, this felt more like a pay-per-view PLE match than a typical TV bout. The first fall was a standard wrestling match. Okay, so McIntyre wanted a standard wrestling match in this. Okay, I thought it was a street fight, he said, but a standard wrestling match. And it got started with exactly 30 minutes left in the episode. So Rhodes came out of the gates hot and sent McIntyre out of the ring for a suicide dive. The referee was distracted with a loose turnbuckle when the Scottish Warrior hit a low blow followed by a Claymore to take the first fall. The next stage was a false count anywhere, which meant all the rules went out the window. So McIntyre immediately got a table from under the ring, set it up so he could powerbomb the champion through it for a close 2 count. They fought in the crowd and used the environment to inflict a lot of damage on each other. So Rhodes put McIntyre through the announce table to win the second fall, which meant they had to go into a steel cage for the final stage. Both men looked worn out as the cage lowered, and the American Nightmare was in a bit better shape. Rhodes had the upper hand and sent his opponent into the walls of the cage a few times. McIntyre also escaped through the door, but Rhodes brought him back in, especially with a suplex. So both men survived each other's finishers a couple of times and tore each other apart another 15 minutes. When it looked like McIntyre was about to win, Jacob Fatu showed up. He got into the cage and started beating him up. When Rhodes tried to pull, Jacob Fatu out of the way so he could go through the door, Fatu, of course, decided to fight Rhodes. He ended up beating up Rhodes. That gave the challenger the opportunity to go right through the door and win the WWE Championship. Exactly what is needed to be. This match exactly what it needed to be. It meant Rhodes looking like a fighting champion, even in defeat. McIntyre winning the championship is going to make a lot of fans happy, especially those who saw it live in Germany, which is something that Drew McIntyre wanted to feel. I think this was McIntyre's way. This was WWE's way to give McIntyre what he should have had back in, 2020? Yeah, back in 2020 or 2019 when he won the 2020 when he won the WWE Championship in front of nobody, right? To now do it in a country is fucking even more. I think this was his WrestleMania, McIntyre's WrestleMania, So there's not much more to say other than both men did a tremendous job here in Germany. Fatu returning immediately gives McIntyre another rival as he begins his reign, but Cody is going to want to get some revenge on that. So Rhodes is going to probably be fighting Fatu while we get Ilya Dragunov stepping up to Drew McIntyre. That's something that can really lead down the road. Now, Aldis also announced something too, and this is interesting, and it very hypes up and makes Saturday Night Main Event feel something. So Saturday Night Main Event will be coming to us on the 24th of January, okay? So this is something to probably watch. Aldis announced that 4 qualifying matches with the winners fighting in a number 1 contenders match at next Saturday's main event. The winner of that match gets a title shot at the Royal Rumble. So we could be looking at a lot of people. We could be looking at Cody, Jacob, Damian Priest, and Ilya Dragunov probably in that Fatal 4-Way. We could be looking at other people maybe involved. Who knows? It depends on what we're going to have. We're going to have 4 qualifying matches with the winners going to be in a Fatal 4-Way at Saturday Night. It makes a great job, and it gives them a week preparation. So that means that the WWE Championship will be on the line at the Royal Rumble. And don't forget the 2 Royal Rumble matches. We will be streaming the Royal Rumble right here on the, as I had mentioned, maybe I don't know if I mentioned it, but we will be streaming the 4 major pay-per-views of the year for you guys, so you guys can get a little hooked up. So we will be streaming at WrestleMania. We will be streaming the Royal Rumble. We will be streaming SummerSlam, and we will definitely be streaming Survivor Series for you guys. It will be the watch-along. I'm going to be setting up that watch-along after this, but yeah, this was great, and a lot of people were like, I'm tired of this Cody Rhodes title run. Can it end? Can we make McIntyre champion? Yes, we do need a heel champion, because now we need somebody to chase. We need that chase to happen now. We need that babyface to now chase that champion, right? And McIntyre was perfect for that role. So, what was the final grade? Well, for the second SmackDown of 2026, It may have seemed strange, but somehow the past 2 weeks of SmackDown have made 3 hours easier to sit through than that Raw, which is usually about 2.5 hours, which is fine. Giving us a solid mixture of different matches and competitors helps a lot, but the way the show is set up also makes a difference. It felt like there was more focus on the wrestling while still having a healthy mix of backstage and non-wrestling segments. See, Nakamura and of course Carmelo Hayes has stolen the show any other week, but this week belonged to the main event of 3 Stages of Hell. And you know what? I'm going to also give that something to watch. I'll mention that. Rhodes and McIntyre's feuds have stretched on for what seemed to be too long, but leading to the McIntyre regaining the WWE Championship was the right call. Actually, tremendous job on both men's part, knowing that, of course, I don't know if you guys have been hearing me, but maybe I fixed it. All right, knowing that McIntyre, I didn't realize that until the end. I was like, what the fuck? Realizing that McIntyre and Cody Rhodes agreed to make this last minute decision, the right call. This was the right call. McIntyre being the champion is right. We need the chase to happen again. We need somebody to chase after that championship. He has been one of the best heels in WWE in 2025, and it looks like that trend will continue in 2026. This was the first time the WWE title changed hands outside of a PLE in 5 years. So it made this episode feel special. Grading a B+ for all. If there's anything for you guys to go out of your way and see, it is the 3 Stages of Hell between Cody and McIntyre. And of course, I would say Shinsuke Nakamura and Carmelo Hayes. If you love storytelling, probably the MFT and the Wyatts. I know there is something going on there. I just can't put my finger on it. But yeah. What did you guys think of SmackDown? Let me know in the comments down below. If you guys could do me a favor, hit that subscribe button if you're new. Drop a like. And of course, turn on those post notifications so you never miss a stream. It looks like Orton and Trick Williams could be headed for a feud. Damian Priest is still surfing around there. I think he's going to get added to that match because he's got some beef with McIntyre. Looks like Matt Cardona could be added to that match. Ooh, be something interesting. A lot of things happening, but I will be here next week, next Tuesday, 5:30 p.m. to give you what went down on Monday Night Raw. Until then, I will see you guys later. Peace.